Namaskaram, all of you. Welcome. World Social Craft Foundation. Our responsibility to the social cause. Understand what can be done. How life strategies and skills. Actually, the topic is not mine. When the World Social Craft Foundation, some flyer has gone. As usual, Nilaya was in chat. Nilaya suggested this topic, and just now I got a message that she has to pack off and she is flying now and she will not be able to join. Otherwise, she was supposed to give the backdrop of the topic. But it's a very general topic. I think everybody understands. In continuation to what we have done last time. Last time we had a long discussion, probably with less ideas of what to discuss. The topic which I suggested was conscious living. But maybe after few people presented their views beyond my expectations and hope, the discussion took off to various directions, wherein we realized life is very simple by birth. God has created all of us to be curious, to know what is around. We keep asking as a young child, what is this, what is this? But by the so-called education system, where we are supposed to get the curiosity to grow in each one of us, to take challenges in life. Today happens to be the great day to remember one of the great leaders of India. We don't see such people who are dedicated in their vision, action. A time when world could not be connected so well. He has traveled across continents, hiding. I don't know how many of you have seen the beautiful movie of Netaji. There are 2-3 documentary movies. So nice. So I'm sure that zeal for, that commitment for actions is lacking. And we have not created such great leaders. Basically because I kept on emphasizing the fact that our education system is not to make people to think. Our education system is to make people to learn something, not even to understand. And I keep calling academic institutions. I was part of most of the academic institutions. Very rarely you see where some creative activity happens. I call it as soft jail, taking cue from one of the greatest poets of Kerala, who said after 10th class, if you throw out all the children from their home, the real revolution in the world happened only those teenage people. During teenage to adolescence is the time when people think creatively. That is what Kunjuni said. If you can throw people out after 10th class, ask them to go around the world and see if they are interested to continue their academics. Then let them join for 11th and 12th, or maybe earlier it was pre-degree. Then join for degree. We are actually closing them in the soft jail so that they don't think beyond the textbooks. You can imagine if no classrooms, no exams are there. Indian street will be full of youth because we have the largest youth community in the world. What will happen in the society? It will be anarchy because we have not educated them. The other day, there was a discussion in one of the television in Kerala, which I was keenly observing. We have religion as part of this world, but we are not taught in classrooms about the real fact about religion. We are not talked to them about the reservation policies which government has. What is in fact they must know about their own country is not being taught. I was posting one of the videos of my discussion with in one of the camp which happened nearly 7 years back in my hometown. A normal person who don't even speak English, he runs a small shop. He was asking a basic question. How much knowledge being imparted in classrooms up to 10th class is useful for their life? My answer was less than 10%. But if you are in academics, probably I am in academics. If somebody has to become a teacher of one specific subject, what they learn up to 10th class, probably 90%, 100% may become useful. But then academicians are not being taught how to market their own subjects. They keep saying if you study this, you get good marks. They are not able to. Generally, questions won't come from students, so there is no problem, and you don't have to justify why is it being done. The objective and scope of education is not purposefully done. Therefore, we find commonly many people agree that it is not worthwhile. Now, that is not our discussion at all. It is in this context, in the last discussion we have in the World Social Craft Foundation, last discussion was on conscious living. If we keep on asking ourselves, how much it worth our life? Is it all the way that we wanted to live? It is not that what you want to attain your life. As a social being, as a human being, as an individual who has got high creativity, how much freedom we have in discussing, at least not deciding, at least discussing what we want around in this world. Let that be political, social, economical. In these days, maximum number of my lectures are on sustainable development growth. I pity most of the people, but I am part of it and I have to give lectures when I call them. This is like a celebration of every annual year, your birthday, without even knowing that you have lived a year. And most of the time we keep saying UNDP was our traditional program in the United Nations development programs. The SDG, the Sustainable Development, is only a new name given to the old activity which has not taken place very well. Because whole development, the whole humanity to become educated, right to education, right to equality, all these are there in our constitution. It is there in the United Nations agenda. But most of the time in the implementation or after some time people forget. And the funniest part is 2015 we started. It's after 7 years people started discussing about this topic. Now another a few more years to go, maybe another 8 years to go. That's it. 2030 it will end and we will have another new name to come. So most of our programs, last time also when I spoke, I was telling the sustainable development, all the development itself is a misnomer, because you should ask whose development. It is for some nation, for some people, for some community, for some group of people. Then the rest of the people are suffering. Because most of the development has a negative impact, that it is you are excusing somebody's privileges, excusing somebody's opportunities. You are excusing somebody's activities which are supposed to take care of everybody. You are taking it as your privilege. So there is always a balance which need to be understood. I want any one of you who are volunteers could speak on this. This is what I think in a general perspective. So each one of us have to be conscious. We also, as a human being, with the privilege of having this facility to interact itself is a great fortune, because most of the people don't have. And in this context, we are able to yeah, I think there is a audio problem. You can take up and then start somebody to speak. Please unmute and speak. Yeah.
The value of the life, how to interact, how to help each other, how to live and in together. That's the way we are supposed to train people. So that's a part TPS brought it. It's very important. Even something I argue with our colleagues at the UN. We had Millennium Development Goals. Then in 2015, it changed to Sustainable Development Goals until 2030. After that, we'll have another development goals. But still, entire world is not developing. We just focus on how to create war, how to fight each other, instead of how to really develop. Something wrong in the system. That means something wrong in the public mind. So we had to educate a child how to love himself or herself and how to love the society rather than love the money. Money is only a part of life. We had to remember that point. Look around the globe, all the animals, they all are living without any currency. Only human beings live only for money and the storm. So there's something wrong in our thoughts. But this is a part I always think. When you go to any of the meetings at the UN or any other top organization program, they only talk about funding, nothing else. Yes, of course, we need money, transaction for our life, but that is not the life. So we had to think we all have equal rights around the globe. Doesn't matter male or female or which religion or which caste or the national you are from. We all have rights to live peacefully. So in the 21st century, we all had to work together. The globalized life. For the universe, I will say universal life. Vasudeva Kudumbaya. That means we all are depending on this universe, in the universe, as a brothers and sisters. So we are supposed to help each other. So definitely we had to change the system, educational system, very soon. Otherwise, we will end up in chaos. Look at the corona situation. We have so many wonderful natural medicines around the globe. Still, we don't want to promote. We only promote vaccines. Last 2 weeks, around 10 of my friends got corona. Some of them didn't take vaccine. They don't want to take vaccines. I'm not complaining about them. They don't believe in that system. I took vaccine. I have to take it. Otherwise, I cannot go to any of the government. But still, we keep the homeo medicine and natural medicines. Those who took vaccine and the natural medicines, they all are safe. So all the system has to go hand in hand. Modern medicine and the traditional medicine should go together. So somehow this business mafias in the medical field, they are blocking our growth. So we people supposed to educate ourselves and promote and bring people together to change the world in a peaceful manner. When we go and fight, it creates more problems. So better to educate. Focus on the education, educate every single child how to live. What are the resources we can use it from the nature. And we don't need that much wealth for a person to live. We need a simple life, a humble way of living. That's the way we have to promote actually. I'm glad we all are coming together under the leadership of DrTPS Shiksha and well-crafted organization bringing us together. I'm congratulating him and admiring the dedication by his students and all of my brothers and sisters in this meeting. Thank you everyone. Have a wonderful time.
Yeah, sorry, there was so many requests that all on a sudden then my system had some problem. I think I pressed somewhere because too many requests were there. I'm glad that Sylvia is online, and then she is the one who made this suggestion. May I have the privilege of requesting Nilayas, Sylvia to speak.
Okay. Good night there. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good everything for everybody. It's an honor for me to be together with such honorable, wonderful human beings and at this moment. And as I was listening, good to see you, whom I'm also very grateful to be connected with, as well as you, Professor. So, well, I have this feeling that what is the system? We talk like about system, we talk about change, we talk about peace, but I felt that about myself because you see, I was coming here, and then suddenly I guess, and the train had just passed, so I was wanting to get just some time, and then so my feet just disappeared for a second because I was wanting to get the train right in the moment of the train. So I think it's a very deep heart, huge job when you say about change everything. And because what is everything? Everything is a whole made of all these little things that we every day, every second, every moment make. So it's like vibration. And I really try, but I forget all the time. And I get like this 2 days ago, like Vietnamese, Sinaham. I never know if I speak his name right, but he lives in my heart. My mom used to give me books on him, like walking and meditating, and then suddenly had this very magical meeting with him. He was doing a talk at Barnes and Noble, and I was in the subway, and a woman just said to me, "Why don't you come?" I was going to my ballet class, and then I switched my mind. I said, "Okay, I go to watch him because I can do ballet another time, and I'm not sure if I will see him talking like that." So, and it was very interesting because he had a definite aim in his talking. And no matter the questions came from different directions, he would go back to that point. So I thought that really impressed me because somehow I think it's something that empowers in us to have a really aim or something like that, and keep focusing yourself to go there, which is very, very, at least in my experience, is very, very difficult. I try to embrace everybody. I try to be open to everyone, to be loving to everyone. But sometimes if somebody step on my feet, and I feel bad, so in an instant, it jumps out of me, the one who says, but at the other moment, I have to kind of forgive the person and forgive myself. So maybe I think and that was I was trying to think in my mind, like about strategy. What could be each one of us to develop a system inside of strategies to bring to ourselves. But that's the thing. If we take forever to do something for ourselves and then to do, so I try to do everything for myself and on the run, on the way I put it out, because I don't think we have any more time to keep doing experiments like this. Like, why not take vaccine? Why think that everybody's doing bad? I don't think nobody's doing bad. We should think everybody's trying their best. It's doing their best to figure out a way out of it. But people sometimes, like I have like brothers that they only think about materialist things, and then I am in trouble with that. I forgive them in a way. I try to forgive them. There was a moment I thought, but another moment I say, oh my God, I forgive them. I forgive them. So I think the main strategy for right now, at least for me, is to figure out a plan that could work to myself to really have at least one day, one complete day peaceful. Be happy if I miss the train. Be happy if the door doesn't open. Be happy whatever happens. I think that is my skill and strategy for the day. It's a day of total happiness. Thank you so much. I hope I have bring a nice seed for the garden of
Nilaya, you are
I
so,
don't have to live in a couple of minutes.
yeah, Nilaya, you are so lucky that you have the freedom to say, let it come as it go. I will take strategies per day. But most of the people are so much socially bounded, family bounded. There are commitments. There are a lot of tags around them. They are not as free as. That is the first thing what I said. We need to have that freedom, but how much freedom and how many people have that? So in that context, the skill is not governing myself. The skill is, it's like when you drive on the road, it's not that you know how to drive. You should drive in such a fashion nobody else will hit you. So the life strategy is in such a fashion you know how to live without making such troubles around you. Because in Bharatiya Shastram we keep saying it is not individual. It is not individual. You have lot of dharma. Your responsibility, your commitment to the people around you. You have Samuha Dharma, Rashtra Dharma, Kula Dharma, professional Dharma. So you are not as free. Especially there is a drastic difference between the Western life and the Eastern life. The commitment which we have around our society, around our family, around our profession, the way things happen is entirely different. So it is not that I don't have to have a strategy. It is not the skill to take me for a day through. It is for a life to pass. And it is not a programmable thing. It is not very systematic where it is too dynamic, maybe too chaotic on many of the days. The environment is so chaotic, the society is so chaotic. So that is what the real concern, and that is what the societal problem which we have. There is a great saying, if a child is not educated during the younger age, they will take them 3 years back. 1 year of missing education is 3 years lost in life. Now you can imagine those children who lost their life of academics in the young childhood, what will happen to their youth, what will happen to their adolescence? There is going to be a great psychological impact. The youth itself, you look at the crime which is happening, the unrest in the society, it's all because of this. So as a responsible citizen, what is that careless, or maybe as it come let it go is what we wanted to think? Or when you said the strategy, I was thinking what strategy, what you mean? I was looking for a not a total life strategy, but at least for few years of strategy, not to self but to society also.
Yeah, Professor, just one thing more, because when you say that when we look at a child that didn't get it, but we need to forget when we move towards others, because everything can change. Life is not 100% as it's like science. It's like everything. Even the poor doctors. I pray for the doctors every day because they really don't know what to do, which is true. Human beings are completely different. My hand, my left hand is completely different from the right hand, and it takes me many lives even to have a glue, or whatever, that's the word, blah, 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 the thing to get an understanding. So I think the more we keep cultivating information ahead, which is really hard to live without anything like. But I think it would be a great strategy to try to live without the ahead, but to really get into the present moment and to see what it is and what can I do, what can I bring to this. So as a strategy, I would say, like I do, my bag is always filled with lots of things. When I go to teach, I have a lot of information, a lot of everything. But at that moment that I start my class, I forget everything I brought. I start with what I see. And from what I see, I can come back and make a connection. But the most important thing is to get the connection to this specific moment and to make this openness, this bridge available to the others to come connected to you. I think we get connected here, but are we really connected? We see each other in this square thing. We say we are in connection. What is to be in connection? What is to feel the compassion, to feel what others really need, and not what I have to bring to them, but to see sometimes they don't need money, sometimes they do need like a lipstick, they do need a hug, they do need a smile. So I think it's tough because the values in our system are so confusing. I think the big chaos is in the system of values, but we cannot just turn everything down, and that, for me, that's just what I do in my life. Like when I need to fix something, I just put everything down and start everything from the beginning again. But we don't need to do that, or I don't know. So I'm really sorry because I have more 5 minutes.
Thank you for that. It is, anyway, life is not one question, one answer. It's only different perspective for different people. I'm seeing Kishorji on the next window on my display. We had Dilip ji from USA, we had Nilaya from Brazil, and now we have Kishorji from Mauritius. Kishorji, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. It's well, after hearing both you, Dilip ji, and the lady, at times I think whom to blame. Are we not to be blamed? Ourselves. We have allowed such a system to go, and you know, not trying to give to our children what they should have been given. You know, the thing we were discussing about things, you know, the problem of the country, like you rightly pointed out about the sustainable development goals, and it will be going on and changing name just to suit the purposes of our leaders. But the question is, you know, we are all the countries, all the people are focused about the GDP, how to measure the GDP. And recently, GDP is being measured by the gross income that we get, you know, in monetary terms. Change that and to see how we are going to see that the GDP is measured by how the people of the country is happy. I think there is one country in particular, Ladakh, I think, if I'm not mistaken, what is not considered as a measurement for the betterment of the people, but the happiness of the people. So how we are going to measure that even if the people are staying, are earning, you know, monetary gains they are getting. So are they happy? You know, let's for example, we see a doctor earns about, you know, like say about $50,000 US to make earning, and then he's living in a very good lifestyle. But we have to ask him whether he's really happy, whether his inner self is happy with that, or whether the people or the children or the wife are really happy with him. Because at times he doesn't get time to talk to his wife. At times he doesn't have time to look after the children. And the children, even at times it so happens that the children, they don't know their father because he's not in the family, not present, they're not talking to them. Only thing is happening is like that. And now there is another invention that has came with the mobile. You know, the use of mobiles in the family. In the family, you see the mobile people. The wife is talking on mobile with the husband, the children are talking with the mother in the mobile. They may be living in the same room, but they are talking or chatting with the mobile. So this is the technology. I don't say that it is bad or good, but the touch, the human touch is not there. Even when the child needs to be fed, the mother takes the mobile and goes with the food and gives and leaves it without telling what he is going to eat and how it has been cooked. But I think we have to change the style a bit ourselves. Try to make some time to talk to the people, to talk to the children. Even as the DrTPS always been telling, the teachers should have another approach of teaching and try to give the human touch in the teaching. And the same way in the parents also, because the teachers got to, the children are at school only for 8 hours or 7 hours. On the 24 hours, they are all at home, minus the 7 or the 8 hours. So the children are there in the house. So the parents have got a very great Herculean task to motivate the children so that they can transmit the real values that they have learned in their beginning. Because the values, the family values, the cultural values, the community values, the social values are being eroded. And who is responsible for that? Are we not responsible? Parents always talk about the children, but they do not question themselves whether they are doing the right things for the children or not. There is a quotation in French, nous sommes tous des hypocrites. We're all hypocrites. We don't say that, we don't feel that, that we have to blame ourselves. We blame others. But in deep inside, we have to consider we have our part to be blamed. And this is the upbringing of the children in the family, or in the children talking about. In the last question, last episode that we're talking, the maid, I remember having talked, the children who are going to the schools, they don't have the extracurriculum activities. They are banned now. But in our days, the extracurriculum activities were the must. At least spend 1 hour a week to do some community work, to go and clean the village, or to go and see some of the, bedridden patients in the village and try to see how you can make them happy and feel happy so that they will feel that they are being considered and people still respect them. So these are the things that are lacking. I think we have to go back to the roots of it and try to see how we can inculcate and the whole universe is our family. So why not we go in that sense and do things in that way? Thank you, Guruji.
Glad, Kishorji. It was beautifully. Anybody else? You could unmute and then speak. I'm seeing Atira, I'm seeing Aravind, I'm seeing Ravi, I'm seeing Sonata. Anyone? Isabel Ji is also there. Prabhu Ji is there. Haridas. Anyone?
Yeah, can I speak?
Yeah, Prabhu Ji, welcome.
Yeah, the previous speaker spoke extremely valid statements, because in the Bhagavad Gita or in our spiritual traditions, in fact even in the Upanishads and in the Vedas, we have the concept of oneness. So, kam mohaka shoka ekatvam anupashyata, the Upanishad says, if you can see oneness, then how can you have misery or sorrow or delusion or craze? Because the moment you start experiencing oneness, after whatever spiritual path or whatever philosophical or whatever natural path you take, then you see that you and your neighbor or your friend or your enemy also, or your any other person has to be treated equal to yourself. So once you start doing that, automatically the problems will be solved, because the problems are all coming due to the negative emotions of anger, greed, lust, jealousy. All these negative emotions originate from the lack of the realization of oneness or equality of oneness. So this is all I wanted to say.
That is the brief and the gist. Anyone else?
Yeah, namaste, TP sir.
Yeah, Kali Charanji. Welcome.
Namaste to all. Sir, I would briefly put a picture of line that already very fine, excellent also. Yes. Now, first one, lacuna, what I am observing with anybody and maximum in the family, that we are not properly understanding ourselves. They are first, the peoples are now have a very less understanding on themselves. The first point is here that we have to understand ourselves. Understanding self means whether what I am thinking, is it in the right way? What I am committing to the other people, depending on that, whether I have properly understood to him. And if you focus on the happiness, that is my happiness is maintaining a harmony? Is it a permanent happiness or it is a temporary happiness? So these things have to understand first by individual educator. I observe maximum parents, they want that their child will take a good mark. His or her child will be a topper in the class. But they are forgetting or they are not understanding that what is the main objective of the education system. They are just diverting their child from the culture, from the sanskar, what is the main ambition or goal of the education system. Instead of giving this in a clear-cut manner, parents are just motivating their students or their child that how to get a good score mark, how to get a good position, how to get a good job. So alternatively, what happens? When the child will grow, his ambition is diverting and he is becoming a competitor in the market to earn the money. There, the child is forgetting that he is not educated, rather he is a certified person for the society. Through the education system, we always trying to bring the students for a proper understanding, not only the subject, but also the culture, behavior, attitude, and the relationship, how to maintain with happiness, how to maintain with the self, how to maintain with the society.
Well said, Kali Charanji, well said. Probably the skill set for getting a job and such activities are very essential in the higher education in which I know Kali Charanji is involved. But we have traditionally in Bharatiya Shastram two types of education. One is called Avidya and another one is called Savidya. What gives you job is one, and another one is what gives you a life value, the wisdom, all that.
Yes, yes.
And balancing this avidya and avidya is what is essentially what education is. And that should happen from the society. We are not, or I am not here to blame education system. As a person who has got social commitment, as in education, most of us are educators in one way or other. So we have a responsibility to change the classroom at least for making such differences. There is an old saying, comparison between a school master and a station master. A station master minds the trains, and a school master mind the trains the minds. And schoolmaster trains the minds, and a station master minds the trains. But today, the mind training is not happening. From LKG onwards, every child is supposed to say what he has to become. Because our education or a parent is also making somebody to become something in the world, not as a human being. I don't think in my childhood, when somebody asked what you want to become, I never would have thought about what I want to become. Yeah, I think Kali Charan's views are totally agreed by everyone in this society. We are, yeah. We need volunteers, teachers who will make a difference in their classrooms at least. I think we are having a great responsibility to change the society, to create such large number of teachers who can share this concern. I am seeing Queen Elizabeth from UK. Yes, you can. You have to unmute.
Good.
My sister
afternoon.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Good afternoon to everyone that is here. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever we are in this global world. Just want to seize this opportunity to welcome you all as we are here deliberating, sharing, and also learning from one another. But before I could say anything, let's give honor to whom honor is due. So I want to appreciate Professor T.P. Sakikuma. I think I'm getting it right now. I'm learning the names. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform. I really appreciate it because I believe that we all are coming out of the four corners of classroom. Yes, we can still maintain our classroom physically, bringing children together, learning. But this COVID pandemic has given us new ideas of knowing, even though if we don't know before, but just for us to know that learning is also in classroom and outside classroom. So when we talk of learning, that is why I can tell somebody that education is not only in classroom. Even if you don't have the opportunity to go to class, you can still learn because learning is lifelong. Learning is a lifestyle. Learning is what will make us to move forward and face tomorrow. I appreciate all our speakers because I've been around. It's only that I've been doing one thing or the other on the background. So that's why I've not shown myself, but I've appreciated all what you've been saying and I've learned few things. So thank you so much for all our speakers. Yes, education is the key to success. Education including our children, our women, men, and everyone. So I want to appreciate the fact that we are using this platform to see beyond classroom, to learn, because like one other speakers have said, that teaching in class is very important, but then we need to be practicing or applying what is being taught. And the only way we can do that is when we see beyond what our teachers has already been teaching us. As you can see me, I'm a learner, and I'm also a teacher, and I'm also a speaker. I'm an author of a book called Yes, You Can. I'm founder of Yes, You Can International. So that is to show you that we can do more than learning one skills. We are equipped. We have that knowledge. We just need to apply it in different ways. So that is why I appreciate DrTPS Satikuma for this platform, teaching us, enlightening us with his great wisdom for us to know and understand what is being taught in class and what are we learning from one another and even from our mistakes. Sometimes we think it's only when you go to school that you are learning. But I'm here to show you that even our actions is still learning. Because if you cannot learn from your action, other people around you are also learning from your action, from your attitude. So we can also learn from our mistakes. So like I will say to people, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because no one is beyond that. We are all to make mistakes for us to learn and to grow. If you don't make mistakes, you cannot learn. And if you don't learn, you cannot grow and you cannot succeed. So we make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. We also learn from our failures. That is why that we need to introduce or encourage our teachers to let them know that a student, particular student, might fail. That doesn't mean that he is not intelligent. That doesn't mean he's not clever. It just means that that particular student needs more extra classes, or maybe change the other way of teaching this particular student. Maybe there are different ways to learn. So the particular teacher must encourage that in class, that it's not only one way. Let me just give you my own example. While I was growing up, I went to school, but I keep failing several times. And you know, in that part of the world, when you are failing several times and other students are also passing, they are doing well, your siblings are doing well, there is tendency to set you aside, because that idea of I can't waste my money on somebody that keeps failing. I guess some of you will have that kind of idea. So I end up not furthering my education because of that, because I keep failing. Later years did I understand that because they didn't understand it that way, they can just, put you aside and said, no, you cannot pass. No, you cannot succeed. But I proved them wrong, because as I'm facing you right now, I managed after many years. At the age of 50, I went back to school to study. And at least I studied up to first degree. So at the age of 50. So because I discovered that they don't know what I know, but I know who I am, and I know my purpose, and I know I can do it. And I challenge their saying that I can't do it. I challenge it to I can do it. And that is why my message to the world, to let them know, no matter the situation, no matter the opinions of others, no matter what they've said to you, if you dream it and you know yourself and you are willing to take action and you are ready to work hard and you are ready to determine yes, you can do it. That is the attitude we need to bring to our students. Don't let us write them off. Don't let us discourage them. And don't let us give up on any child. Every one of us are packaged by the universe. We are gifted. We are clever. The only difference is between some people that are getting A's and some people that are getting P's in their exam is because they need another way round to develop or to gain knowledge. So we are all clever. We are full of knowledge. And these children, they are gifted and they are clever and they are intelligent. We just have to encourage us or encourage them to do it or to do it in a different ways. So that is my wisdom today, to say to us, don't give up on anybody. Don't give up on your children. Don't compare them because everyone is different. But we are going to fulfill our purpose on earth. And we are special. So we need to start inspiring our students, inspiring our children, and whoever that is under your leadership. So I want to say thank you very much, sir. Dr. T.P. Saki Kumar, you see, I'm learning all this because I keep learning. Thank you, sir. I appreciate inviting me to this platform. And thank you to everyone here for listening to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Namaste. That is great. I keep saying I have got a book on discovery learning. You will have to discover what you need to learn in your life and then discover your style of learning. That is most important. And my formula for performance P is equal to attitude A plus opportunity O plus skill S. So if you have good attitude and given good opportunity, you will hunt for getting what skill you need. So the strategy which we are discussing today is the core attitude which we have. And I'm so glad that Queen Elizabeth, my sister, always focuses on that attitude part. Thank you for that wisdom words. I have seen somebody on the chat box asking for whether they can speak. You can unmute and speak. You are welcome. I'm also glad that my masters in MSc in Cochin University, my teacher Dr. Babu Sundar is also here. He is not just a mathematics teacher, he is more a spiritual person. So I'm sure he will have some wisdom to add. Welcome. Yeah, Mandal, please.
Good evening, namaskar, namaste, namaskar, namaste from West Bengal. This is Pradipta Mandal from West Bengal. So today we are talking about life skill. So there is no definite list of life skills basically. Certain skill may be more or less relevant depending on the life circumstance, culture, belief, age, geographical location, etc. However, in 1990, the World Health Organization identifies 6 key areas of life skill. First one is communication and interpersonal skill. This broadly describes the skill needed to get on and work with other people, and particularly to transfer and receive messages either in written or verbally. Second skill is the decision making and problem solving. This describes the skills required to understand problems, find solution to them alone or with others, and then take action to address them. Third skill defined by the World Health Organization is creative thinking and critical thinking. This describes the ability to think in different and unusual way about problems and find new solutions or generate new ideas, coupled with the ability to access information carefully and understand its relevance.
Glad, Mandalji. Again, somebody else.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, Sorna Biswas. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, Sorna Biswas. Go ahead.
First of all, namaste to all. My question is to Dr. TPS. My question is that you mentioned about avidya and savidya. One is needed to sustain our life, and one is needed to develop our human values. And can you elaborate on this part, that how can teachers maintain this balance? And because teachers are always concerned to cover the syllabus as soon as possible. So how can they maintain in a classroom?
Basically, that is one of the best question probably any educator need to understand. Why do we get educated? There is a beautiful book by Swami Vivekananda which talks about Eternal India, My India, Eternal India. You can grab it and read. There are few pages on education. And the whole gist of Swami Vivekananda's education is only one single line. Education is man-making. Traditionally, if you look at Bharatiya Shastram, human beings are the only one who can learn and teach. We are all here as a human being. I don't think any animal go to a class and then learn something. Ahara nidra bhaya maidhunani samani chaitani nranam pashunam jnanam naranam adigo vishesho jnane bihina pashubi samana. Aharam, food, nidra, bhayam, maidhunam, sex. All these are equal for human being and animal. Extra for human being is we are curious about knowing. So what is the purpose of education? Purpose of education is to make curiosity in students. Actually, teachers should not ask questions. I am so glad that if Swarna would have attended any of my sessions, what I do is I don't give lecture at all. I only ask children to ask questions. Maybe the small talk is only to make people to think, oh, which are all the questions which related to this can be asked. Then questions should come. If there are no questions, actually classes are useless. But you see today, most of the classes are, as Swarna said, it's finishing the syllabus. Why do you want to finish the syllabus and finish people in this world? Actually, there should be a lot of questions. Syllabus is available. I keep saying every student should learn. If you look at 30 points to students, 20 points to parents and teachers, there is a beautiful blog in which I explain my philosophy of teaching. And there are a lot of small clippings in which I say, don't teach at all. Subject is available, syllabus is available, books are available. Anybody can read and understand this. Teachers are not teaching maths, physics, chemistry. I teach most of the subject in the world. That is because I am not teaching that subject. I am only teaching that as an example to tell how to learn. I keep saying when you are learning cycling, you use a road for learning cycling. But your aim is not cycling in that road. Your aim is you must learn cycling, so that road is only used for learning the trick. When you are learning swimming, you are jumping into the swimming pool and learning not to swim in that swimming pool throughout your life. Whichever water, wherever you go, you can swim across. Most of the teachers don't understand this philosophy of the objective and scope of learning a subject. If that is understood, I happen to be the academic staff college director orientation program. I keep saying teachers have to become a marketing person for their subject, saying that this is the most beautiful subject, you can make research in this. But when you do research, it is not finishing that problem. You are learning how to do research. So if you are a researcher, you can do research in any subject in the world. The skill is more important. So Savidya and Avidya. When you get data is what the textbook gives, data is what the teachers are giving in the classroom. That is not teaching. Only if you're reading something which is available in a textbook, if you know alphabets and then you know how to read it, probably you can read it. How do you analyze it? Analyze, interpret, judge, criticize, compare. All these together is what is analysis. When you analyze the data, it becomes information. So how do you can drag information from the data, and how that information you can capturize yourself, and when you get it into you, that becomes your knowledge. And you have to be a knowledgeable person. And that knowledge you use it in different places, that becomes your experience. How to use it, where to use it, when to use it, to whom to give, whom not to give, that is the wisdom and the value system which you should have. If you don't have, people use that education for a bad purpose. So where to use it, how to use it, when to use it, that is called a Savidya. That wisdom and value has to be added. If that is not added, what will happen? Today you are seeing a lot of calamities in the society because they are knowledgeable. They know how to connect to people. They know how to make a bomb. So they know how to make a bomb, but they don't know how to make a good thing for a creative activity. Their potential is not being diverted for that purpose. That's why the energy is being used for a wrong purpose. So how do you understand value? Value is, as a human being, I have to be human. Being human is human being. Being social is social being. If these two qualities cannot be given, even if you have the highest degree in any subject, you are useless for the society. Maybe you are good for giving degrees and making people to get similar patterns. So I keep saying KG to PG, and then you again make your children to KG to PG. That cycle goes on. But you are not giving any socially committed people around you. So man making is education. It's not my word, Swami Vivekananda. I've used this man making in education in a beautiful manner, like a chakra which is going around, and I used to have a PowerPoint presentation with beautiful simulation in my earlier classes, maybe 10-20 years back. I will have it somewhere. So now you can ask me, I'll send it across to you. Right? It may be there in some of my blog also. It may be there. Education, DrTPS. If you type it, you will see 30 points to students, 20 points to parents and teachers. You must use it. Thank you. Where are you from, Suvarna?
DrTPS, I am from West Bengal.
Okay. You were there in that English community sonata.
Yes, I attended earlier your lecture.
Thank you.
Sir, I know you.
Master is also here. Student is also here. Pranams. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to say something.
Yeah.
Today, skills are very needed in achieving goals, but I think that students should make their character, make their ability, so that the society must up their help. But today there are many parents only try to send their children for higher education, but they don't think they are not learning total, I mean to say, morality. They just get knowledge, they just read books, just to acquire knowledge. But they don't know how to behave to others or behave with their parents. I think that there is a gap between the children and parents. That is why we are just learning just to earn money. Money is their only target. Parents don't want to know that money is nothing but education is everything. They think that education means money, earning. But I think that
children or students should take proper education so that they can prosper in life, they can help others, they can take part in building a good nation. But unfortunately, there are many parents who just try to educate their children just to get a job so that they can spend their life happily. And in this case, the relationship between the children and parents are totally broken. And in some cases, we can see that there are many children who got high quality service. They are in offices, they are earning money, but in future, they don't take the responsibility of their parents. I think that it's not proper education. If children take proper education, they must take care of their parents. I think so. I think children or parents should care of total education, proper education. Am I right, sir?
Really, yesterday we had a celebration, India's Republic, hosted by somebody from my brother from Canada, Dr. Praveen, I think. I was mentioning, there was a mention about religion. So when you said about morality, Mahatma Gandhi said religion is not bad. But the problem is we don't have religion with morality. So anything, either education or religion or anything, you don't have morality added to that, it becomes dangerous. People don't understand that. Yeah, Sweta is from Abu Dhabi. Yeah, welcome.
Dr. TPS, I was in Mumbai and I had been to a school. The name of the school is Tridha. Since all the morality and values we're talking about, the school follows no textbook till grade 8. And all the students, say suppose there are 20 students in the class, every day each student will bring food for the 20 others. They will eat together with the teacher, wash their plates and then keep it back. Next day some other child will bring a home cooked food. So what I felt in that school, that the kids were learning, like they were appreciating the value of food, which the present generation don't do. They were appreciating the effort the parents are doing to prepare that 20 people's food. And since they were not following any textbook, yes, they were following the CBSE curriculum, but they are not following any textbook. Their learning process was much wider than what I as a teacher see in other students. It was very nice experience, and their values and the way they were behaving, they appreciating the efforts. It was really nice to see. I wish many people we can implement that. It was a good experience for me, sir.
That was wonderful, Swetaji. A good experience sharing. This is what we want. We need probably not Treta Yuga. I wish we have got Satya Yuga. Treta Yuga also had conflict between societies. Satya Yuga was living with nature. Dwapara
Yuga. Nothing like
I was just mentioning a joke.
No, they were all mixed crowd.
Right.
It is nothing that somebody is from higher society, and it is nothing that the fees of the school is less or anything. It was a good crowd of students, and the values instilled was I really liked.
Really good, because our CBSE, most of the people, the other day somebody was circulating my small video clipping in which somewhere I mentioned CBSE school. There is no point in mentioning up to 8th class your school is CBSE, because up to 8th class there is no CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. It's only from 9th class. So, but still we will see LKG, UKG also writing CBSE. Actually, it is fooling the whole society. No educated fellow can tolerate it. So I keep scolding principal saying that no, you must write up to 8th class no syllabus. That is how the school should run. But we keep saying state syllabus, CBSE, central syllabus, all these are bogus.
So
Up to 8th
it was
class,
a very like teacher teaching the subject in her way. Every teacher is teaching in a different way, but the concept is going to all of them, the same thing.
that's it.
So till 8th, they don't follow any textbook. From 9th, they follow the CBSE.
Now, at least the new education policy says we need to have informal education up to grade 3. You remember I was sharing what I was doing 15 years back, the grandma child care system, in which we need to have single classroom from age 3 to grade 3. That was my proposal, and I did a lot of such experiments on education. It works really well. The sharing, caring, loving, the parents becoming part of the classroom, the tripod will work really well.
That's how it is in the Montessori schools.
Yeah, that is how it should be. Actually, it should be. But we still call it as Montessori and do the policing job. That's what is being done.
I agree, Dr. TPS. I agree on this content, because sometimes the argument is done by me also within these cases. Because up to 8th one, this is the general study and they have to understand themselves. That is my point.
Yeah, really true.
A student have to understand just through the game. And there must be no boundary on the syllabus. Let them will enjoy. And
No, but Kali Charanji, this cannot be implemented unless we create such brilliant teachers around.
Yes, exactly. Sir. I know your thought process is very big.
That is what is lacking.
You right, like you, if will be there, if every parent, every teacher, you can say that in the implementation, then it will be good work. But very few people are focusing on that. That is the problem.
No, sir. The problem is the parents. The Indian parents are not ready to accept, as somebody said that.
No, wait. I think we have deliberated this on the last seminar, in which we said there is a beautiful. If you have not seen the documentary De-Schooling, and if you have not read the book on From Hope, there is a beautiful 2 books are available. You look at it, it is not India. Don't blame India alone. The whole world de-schooling is a big problem. The whole documentary of de-schooling explains how pathetic is an American parent when she has to take the TC from the school for their children and educate themselves. You cannot implement that in India. We discussed this in earlier seminar, because Indian parents are not as educated as the developed country parents. So we have our own limitations. So we cannot throw away with the schooling program. We cannot change the system. That is why our education policy tried to put at least in the earlier. But the biggest failure in new education policy is we have not made any setup for making teachers available. The biggest, say, I am not here to blame. So don't blame. India will not. This problem was there even in America, and not very early. Maybe 20 years back onwards, people started de-schooling. I've got a lot of my friends in America. They don't send their children to schools. That is because their online is very good. They have got sufficient places where they can go and learn. And there are private centers where they can make children to learn much better. I was there in America for 6 months. I was training teachers on the SAT examinations and all that. So it's also essential. We need to have such systems in place.
Yes, sir. For that reason, you might have seen that everywhere now started with the 17 sustainable goal. The 17 point of the sustainable goal of the society.
Yeah, we understood. Anybody else? Otherwise, we will close it. We are already 1.5 hours.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste, Acharya. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much, Acharya, for this opportunity. And thank you, everyone, for sharing your wordful. It is really great to be here. It's a great learning experience, I can say, to me. I learned many things from you all. Thank you. And coming to, my opinion, I would like to say that, first of all, life strategies, life skills, these all, we are directly or indirectly trying to inculcate or imbibe, I can say. Because most of the schools as Dr. TPS, I call Acharya. So Acharya always says that education should be very liberal and it should not be confined. In the beginning, when Acharya said the same thing, he was trying to say that it is most of the times confined with a few people or few things, few situations in the society. Yes, I do agree with that. And for that, I feel that 3 A's should be in the society. Society, it may be school, it may be teachers, educators, it may be people around, it may be well-wishers, it may be students including. So at this particular situation, 3 A's, acceptance, adaptability, and awareness. These 3 A's, if we start doing in the society, everybody equally, with equal responsibility, then I think we need not to be particular or specific to teach all these things. Because if we have awareness around the society, in our own experiences, we would like to learn what is going on with our life, very own situations, very own experiences. At the same time, when we can adopt whatever the other person is trying to do, something innovative or creative. Most of the times we would listen negative aspects instead of positive things when we do something new or something innovative or something creative. And the third one is acceptance. This is very important, where we have to accept, or at the same time we should adopt it and try to implement if it is good for us, good for the society. At that time we should be selfless and we should be neutral as an educator. Thank you all.
Beautifully said. Yeah, go ahead, Amos. Beautifully said. Yeah.
May I? Good evening and namaste to everyone. I am Manish from Dhuli, Patna, Bihar, and I'm also associated with you can say NGO, Limit IntelliGrow, and we work for 4 life skills. You know what? It is with HW and CW. Being a teacher, HW and CW is our acronyms. Here, HW and CW means health, wealth, character, and wisdom. So these 4 things are life skill which a teacher must work upon. And very sad to say that the first choice in a student's life is not to become a teacher. If you ask me, the teacher, the lot of society which who prefer to be academically, I mean who are being teacher, are a failure at least I am. I couldn't do anything, so I am a teacher today. So what will I give? When I myself is a failure, so I need to train myself first before training those young minds on which our country depends. So this is where I feel that how to do and what to do, this is on a larger scale. A teacher must be trained first. How to do. Whatever we are guided that these syllabus are given, and in the stipulated time, we have to finish the syllabus. We do that because at some point of level, we ourselves are not successful. And we go on doing that. Hardly we try to extract time and use our innovative ideas and creative ideas, finish the syllabus quickly, and at least give one lecture on developing, inculcating these skills, health, HW and CW, health, wealth, and wisdom and character, which is actually the need of our. We need to work upon those skills. So here we feel that a good effective training should be there to brush up the dust what the teachers are having. I feel if I get such guidance, I would brush those minds and I would extract time from my classroom daily schedule, then whatever my syllabus is there. So I feel the teacher must be trained, and how this should be given by all those heavy-weighted people. They can make a change, like they can impart training to us, and then on fortnightly or monthly basis, quarterly. So on a larger scale, if we do this, we train teacher in this direction, inculcating life skill, we can at least achieve 5 to 10% of the goal what we are talking about. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderfully said. Wonderfully said. I keep saying development is 5-fold. Physical, that is the part which you said, the health part. But health is not only physical. Emotional, together. Sharira manaso yoga parasparam anuvrajit. Both are required. So physical, emotional, and what academically given is intellectual. What is lacking probably is a social skill development, which we call it as most important, but which is not being done. That is what we call it as avidya. And the highest is spiritual. If we don't have all these fivefold development together, society will not become. Maybe the indexing today we have is a different style of indexing, which is not totally inclusive in this manner. Yeah. Glad that you are here. Thank you. Anybody else? Or we will call it a day.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Kanakadurga. Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah, continue. You are heard. You are heard. Continue. Kanakadurga.
Like, it's ultimately many things that change because this good chance to develop students. But actually, the problem
You are not audible.
Yeah, maybe somebody else can speak. Somebody else can speak. There is a problem in the audio of Kanakadurga. Otherwise, we will close it for today. Babu Sundarji, Dr. Babu Sundarji is there. Dilip ji want to make any comments? Jayanti Sahu is there from Delhi.
Shall I add something?
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Welcome,
you,
sir.
TPS.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you are talking on discussing on a very serious topic. I was late into this discussion. However, I would like to add a few things. One thing is that, see, we can keep on complaining about the system that is prevailing around us. That's not a solution. But how we can best out of it, that should be our approach. First tip that I would like to give to the parents and the educators is that educators must consider themselves as the parents at the school, and the parents should consider themselves as the educators at home. If this is their approach, a lot of change will happen. There are normally, if the child or the ward does not perform well, the parents themselves will complain against the teachers. That should not be the way. I think we should take our role well. Because most of the time they are spending at least the equal amount of time at home as well as at the school. So therefore it's the responsibility of both the parents as well as the teachers to teach them whatever they think that is good and that is required for their life. The another aspect of the teaching is we need not teach the students because of the electronic gadgets that are available at the present age. Lot of knowledge comes to them, lot of information comes to the children. But what we have to teach them is how to learn. We must be bogged down by the syllabus, the examinations and everything. But within that scheme itself, we should be able to make the student how to learn, teach them how to learn. That will be the most important thing. They should be able to develop. We should be able to inculcate an attitude towards going into and developing, asking questions into anything and everything around them with an attitude of understanding clearly everything. I think with that note, I would like to conclude. I think you people together are doing a good job. All the best to you. Thank you.
That was a great addition from my teacher, who was my teacher during my master's program. Thank you. Thank you for that. Any closing remarks by Dilip ji?
Yeah, I am really enjoying today's discussion. I hear a lot of wonderful comments, suggestions. I know motivation is already there. Definitely, we need a system which we can apply anywhere in the world. That's the purpose of the World Craft, bringing people from different culture, traditions, and so many things to learn, new things. Still, I am a student. A lot of time I listen to people and see what they are going to speak. And you are ready to change yourself. I always say we had to upgrade ourselves rather than blaming somebody. But sometimes we had to point out some mistakes in our society. That's our duty to show it, not for a fight. Because we have the love towards our community. That's why we are coming here. So definitely we will all work together. I'm happy Dr. DPS brought us together today to discuss this one. We'll continue our work. We never give up. I'll say, never give up. All the failures in our life is a stepping stone for our victory. So move on, never give up. Thank you.
We have Isabel from Argentina. That is well said, Dr. Dilip ji. And we have Isabel from Argentina. I think the strength is we have people like Dilip ji who are not only discuss, we don't just discuss here and then leave. Soon after discussions, we have a telephone call to share our concerns and talk. This is what we do. Isabel, Argentina is, what is the time there now?
Hello, everyone. A pleasure to be with you. Life experience is that battle that we must fight every day within the family, religion, world and culture. But the hardest is with ourselves. In America, with so many mixtures of cultures, it is very, very difficult to have an authentic life experience based on our own convictions without being criticized or censored. Life experience requires skilled sound strategies, which can be your own learning along the way. In my years teaching, I was able to see in children, young people, and also adults, very deep traces caused by family experience, social, religion, and also my own convictions, which limited the well-being and happiness in the lives of these human beings. And I have convinced myself that every coming and winning those battles is up to oneself, and too many helps us. We are the only ones who in them also in the same why the disease, and although sometimes the experiences not resolved by sharing life, it makes transcendence and example for other human beings. Thank you to all. Namaste.
That is well said. We will look for a transformational change in the life. That's what we want to get. We will do that. Great, well said.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Good enough. Atirya want to say something? Haridas ji is also there.
No comments as of now.
Wonderful. Very good. Haridas ji?
Nothing to say. Thank you for giving this opportunity to hear the. Thank you.
So thank you all. See you soon on some other occasion somewhere on. Thank you.
Thank you,
God
Dr.
bless you.
TPS.
God bless you. I'm so glad today that Dr. Babu Sundar is also with me today.
TPS.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a nice day.